don't get too hype. Because this ain't the channel for all that. So, alright, let's get right into it. You already know what it is. It's your boy Wop. Listen up. Alright. So, we're going to take a look at this thing today. You know, happy Tuesday to everybody. Um, I want y'all to take a look at this program that I attended, you know, in my youth days. So I want to walk y'all through it, and it's just to let y'all know that you know this program is no longer available. You know, it was available back then. It was probably for like first time offenders and things like this. But what I'm trying to say with me showing y'all this is that this is a program that worked. You know, and what happened is that because it worked, they took it away because I don't hear about it no more. I don't know nobody that's been able to get to this program, and it's like for first time youth offender, we got all these young kids, even older men, because I think it goes from like 14 to 16 to like 49 years old. I seen grown men in there too, you know, that never been to prison, and maybe they needed a program, you know, instead of sending them to prison or whatever. So this program was a 6 months program, amazing program. I attended it. I did my 6 months. I had I had a state bid which they gave me a 1.5 to 3, and with an option to take the program and come home in 6 months. Now I was pretty smart at that time too to be like, you know what? I don't want to do 1.5 to 3. My first time going to prison. Fuck that. I'm gonna jump out there and I'm gonna take this program. But don't get it twisted. This program ain't easy. This program ain't for everybody. Some people they rather go to a prison, you know, where there's inmates that are wilding than do this program. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell you the truth. I had when I first walked through this program, you know, I remember running into a kid that I knew I forgot his name, but he was from my same neighborhood, and we were both attending the program at the same time. So check, I'm gonna run you through it real quick. Look how crazy it is. So we get this program or whatever, and I see him. So you know, when you see people, when you run into them in prison, that they from your neighborhood, you tend to, you know, want to link up so y'all can hold each other down. That's what people do. You know, but make sure that you're a good dude, because if you're not and you run into somebody that they know about you, they ain't gonna fuck with you. So that's why you're supposed to always make sure you're a good dude and you kept it 100. So I see the dude and I'm like, oh shit, what up, kid? So me and him already rolling together in the program in the beginning of it. We still streets. We still got all our nut ass shit in us or whatever, but this program's gonna knock all that out. So, you know, so before the program started, um, I forgot how much into the program we was already in that the drill sergeant that we had, because you have a drill sergeant, the drill sergeant that we had, his name was D.I. Simio. I'll never forget this guy because he was top of the top. I think he was the top sergeant of all these programs. He was no joke. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we started the program, and I think we probably like 2-3 weeks into the program or whatever. So I guess after that much time in there, they give you another option whether you want to do the program or you want to go to prison. It's up to you. So you can decide before you start the program, because after that you got to finish. They ain't gonna let you unless you catch a charge. Then they'll send you to a regular prison, but they give you the option. So me and the kid that I knew from my neighborhood, um so happens to be that those couple of weeks or month, I think we was already in there, that he couldn't take the program. I couldn't take the program because I was like, yo, this shit, wow, my nigga. Because I was like, yo, I'd rather go to a prison, so to say, that we was thinking at the time because we didn't know. I'd rather go to a prison and just lay up, because we thought everybody that goes to a prison, they just lay in bed all day and they get up when they want and they go outside. They ain't gotta work. They just laying up, do they bid, like whatever. But that's really not the case. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get up and move. You gotta do shit. But not, you know, you rather do that than this program. Trust me. So we in our dorm or whatever. So the drill sergeant comes in one day and he goes, everybody jump on your lockers, because we had lockers or whatever. Tall fucking locker. This, you know, my man was tall. I think, if I'm not correct, or if I can remember, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say his name or whatever, but he's from my neighborhood. Um, he told us everybody get on the locker, because he comes in. It's a platoon, it's called. So he tells us everybody get on the locker. So he's walking by everybody one by one, one by one, one by one, and he's asking them, do you want to continue in the program? If you want to continue in the program, hop off the locker. That means that you was gonna stay in the program. If you don't want to do the program, then stay on your locker. Stay there, and then after he's done with everybody, whoever was still on their locker, they were just gonna come and cuff him and send them to a prison. So that was your choice. So me and him is crazy because me and him had locker next to each other, so we both standing up and we looking at each other because right now we thinking everywhere we go, we're gonna try to hold each other down. That was our thought, but not knowing that we could have got separated, but that's what we was thinking. So we already on that hold each other down because we from the same neighborhood. So even in this shock incarceration program, there's people from all over that we still had to hold each other down. So I'm looking at him, he's looking at me or whatever. Then the drill sergeant is looking at me, he's looking at him or whatever. Uh, uh, uh. So and then he asks the kid. He asks the kid first, and he asks him, "What do you want to do? You want to stay in the program, or you want to go and do your time in a prison or whatever?" So he was upset about something already too, because I remember something happened and he was upset. So he's grilling the drill sergeant like whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't go fuck because we still had the streets in us, so we still talking like whatever. So he's looking at this drill sergeant like, nigga, whatever. Well, you act like I'm fucking scared to go to a prison or whatever. That's what we was thinking, because he was trying to like test us, like, so that's what we thinking. So he's looking at him, he's like, so what are you gonna do? You gonna stay on the locker, or you gonna jump off the locker? You know what I'm saying? So my man is still looking at me. So he was like, man, send me to prison. When he said that shit, he gave me this look like, yo, you rolling with me, right? And I'm looking at this nigga like, oh shit. Like, this is a decision. See, you got to make the decision sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You got to make the decision for yourself. It ain't always about making the decision that somebody else makes, because that might not be the right choice for you. Regardless if you're holding each other down, we get it, all that. We get that. And, but at this time, I'm looking at him, and what's so crazy? That I didn't even know this drill sergeant. So he must have saw something in me. You know what I'm saying? And I thank him to this day for seeing whatever he saw in me, because he looked at me with this, listen to me. He looked at me and was like, look at me, bro. Do not base your decision off this dude. This dude is wildin'. He's out of control. You have still a little, calmness to you, that you can do the program and go back to your family in 6 months, bro. Like, he wasn't telling me all this, but I could hear him saying it to me, bro. I swear to God. So I'm looking at my man, and I was like, yo, my dude, my nigga, like, I'm not going to no jail, my nigga. I'm going to do the program, bro. So I'm going to holler at you, my dude. So I jump off the locker. Boom. And the drill sergeant, yo, I swear to God, he had this look on his face like, you make the right decision for yourself. And that's a key point in this video that I just made to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to make a decision for yourself. What's good for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that I made that decision. They came and they cuffed the kid or whatever. They took him away. I jumped, and I could see the drill sergeant like I'm gonna save this kid, right? I'm gonna get him home to his family in 6 months, because remember, I had a 1.5 to 3. I could have went to prison for the max 3 years or whatever. I was still young at the time. So I thank God for this program. On my first bid that I went and did it, I completed it. It was hard as shit, but it was worth it. So I'm gonna walk y'all through it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just pay attention to what the program is based off.
For the men at Mariah Shock Incarceration Correctional Facility, prison time moves at an accelerated pace. The facility in Mineville, New York, is one of 2 so-called shock boot camp prisons in the state, and one of a handful nationwide that offer shorter sentences in exchange for participation in programs that aim to prepare inmates.
So this one, I did not attend this one. So I went to Monterey Shock. I went to Monterey. I think it was in Jersey or something. This is a different one, but they had a lot of these programs which they don't have anymore.
For a brighter future.
Shock is primarily a non-violent first offender type program. Over the years, it has expanded. We now accept inmates in the Shock program from 16 to the age of 49.
About 200 men are serving 6-month intensive sentences at Mariah Shock, and inmates are occupied nearly every hour of the day.
Everybody wants to do Shock because they're here 6 months. It's not like a regular prison when you get to sit in your cell all day and stuff. They keep you so busy.
Reveille sounds off at 5:30 in the morning. Inmates have 15 minutes to get up, make their beds, brush their teeth, shave their face, put on their physical training gear.
Yeah, I heard that. So this is how your day started, bro. Imagine this. You coming from the streets. Remember, you're coming from the streets. We used to go to bed, what, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Never went to bed. So, never, matter of fact, no. Never had to get up so early because this is the time we still in the street. You know, we're young. We not getting up at no 5:30 ever. Nobody where I come from was getting up at 5:30 in the morning except the people that were going to work. But for us, we was not getting up at no 5:30. So imagine you go to a place where you gotta get up at 5:30 in the morning. That's insane, bro. It's so hard. You're so tired. So what they did is that you got up at 5:30 in the morning, and the drill sergeant will come around and do a count. So it ain't just get up and go use the bathroom because you know most of us have to use the bathroom, but that's not happening. You got to get up and stand at attention so that the drill sergeant can walk around and do his count. After his count, you fall out, then go to the bathroom. So I'm gonna let him keep going and then I'll break it down more to y'all.
After a 5:30 a.m. wake-up call, they exercise outdoors together. Mealtime.
A bad day in shock is a whole lot better than a whole day in jail. Look at that message right there. I want y'all to see that message. This is what I'm saying about this program. This is saying how, you know, they did what they did and took away this program, which could help a lot of people today. You know what I'm saying? So, it said a bad day in shock is a whole lot better than a good day in jail. That's totally true, bro. So after they do the count in the morning, you know, you go and then you gotta go to physical training. Listen, you have to do physical training for 6 months, and I'm talking about boot camp physical training, army type. That's what they do. This is what that was because I did it for 6 months. Boot camp. It was no joke. I came home with 3% body fat. Insane. This was insane how I came home. It was for 6 months.
Times are likewise conducted with formal precision, as inmates move exactly as ordered.
Eye straight forward.
All right. So now after you do the physical training in the morning, you do push-ups. You do jumping. We used to do like 500 jumping jacks. Like by the third month of your program, you're already doing 500 jumping jacks because it goes by months. Your first month, you're still street. You're still acting like a nut ass nigga. By your second month, you're still acting crazy. By your third, fourth, you start to come down. You start to become a different person. By the fifth and sixth, you solid. You changed already. You're singing cadence. You're shocked out. You're insane. Totally new person. Um, so here, when you going down the child line, it ain't no yo like in prison. It's a whole thing. I've been in prison, and I go to the mess hall there. I'm like yo, and they yelling, they talking, it's crazy. So you still pick up that thing here. It ain't no talking. You're here to eat your meal. So that's what everybody do. You sit down, you eat your meal, and you have to put one hand under to give the next person space so that your elbow's not hitting his while he's eating. They teach you a lot of discipline. This program is based on discipline. So, and you only got I think it's like 10 minutes to eat your food because you got to eat, you got to go. This is a program that keeps you going. This ain't just, in prison, you can just sit there and eat your food, talk the shit and all that, and be there all day. This ain't that. This, you got to sit down. You came to eat. This is what you do, and you roll out.
Later, under a drill instructor's close watch, the prisoners run through an obstacle course. For a large portion of the day, inmates participate in education programs, while others are assigned to manual labor.
Alright, so after you get done with the eating breakfast or whatever, now you got two options. Which in jail you decide if you want to go to school, if you don't want to go to school, if you want to work, you don't have to work. It's that's why this is a different program. And in prison you going with these habits of getting up when you want, so you could do it in jail. And if you're doing it for 10 years, you're gonna come home with the same effect, cause ain't nothing changed. In this program, you gotta go in the morning after breakfast. You gotta go get ready, cause you're either going to school all day, or you gotta go to work. So they put you to work in the neighborhood or whatever, wherever the facilities at, it's where you're gonna go work at. So this is what, if you want to go to school, good, because you should be going to school if you ain't got your GED.
working on projects outside of the prison grounds. This group is building a playground at a local Head Start center.
So look at that. Look where they took them to go to work. They took them to go build a playground for a school. So they'll be going to work every day until they complete this project, which is dope. You know what I'm saying? And in jail, you could get up whenever you want. You could go to work if you want. Some people work, some people don't. But it's your choice in jail. Is what I'm saying. This program is amazing because you have to do what you have to do to get home. If you don't do the program, if you don't graduate, you go and do your bid. So if they gave you whatever time they gave you, you had to go complete it. And it's not, you're basically going to come home from prison with the same behavior because that's what most of the people do anyway. So this program was 6 months. You came home and you came home high and tight because you was in shock incarceration. It's no joke. Let's finish up.
After returning from work, inmates must go through a routine security check upon re-entering the prison. For the rest of the day, some men attend group meetings designed to improve life skills, while others join substance abuse programs.
It's no BS like that.
Okay, so you heard that. So after you go to work, because you go to work every day, you build your little skills in working, you come back and you have these programs now. You got to go to these programs. And one of the programs that I remember, it was called confrontation, where the whole platoon sat around in a circle, and during that day or days that led up to whatever, you know people were picking people and that they wanted to confront, you know meaning that they wanted to sit them down and confront them. So what they did is that they put some names in a thing, and that's the person that got confronted that day, you know, about his behavior. Because some people were like faking, they were faking the program to make it so they can get out and not really take doing the program. Because sometimes you could do a program and fake it to make it out of there, but you're not actually letting the program work so that you really pick up what the program's supposed to do for you. There's a big difference. So this is confrontation. You see how everybody sat around each other and you had to sit with your hands on your lap. So what that does to you is that when you're sitting with your hands on your lap like this, like they are, and somebody's talking to you, you make direct contact, you're paying attention. You have no choice. If you try it with somebody that's with you right now. Tell them to sit down and let them talk to you. You have no choice but to pay attention. So that's what that did. Because if not, if I went like this and I sat down and let you talk to me, what am I telling you, nigga? I don't give a fuck what you saying about me, nigga. So that's why they don't let you sit like that. Because if they confronted me and I was sitting like this, I'd have been like, man, I could care less about what you talking about, nigga. Now, when I had to sit with my hands like this, I couldn't slouch. I had to sit straight and listen to it. I had to take all that confrontation in about what was I doing. They were confronting me on my behavior. So I went through it too. It wasn't easy. It was, it made you, see who you really are. You couldn't fake it after that because they already had confronted you on your behavior. So let's get back to it.
The rest of the day, some men attend group meetings designed to improve life skills, while others join substance abuse programs.
It's no BS like that. It actually makes.
Oh, and that's another thing. There was, people that, had addictions or whatever they had. They had a 12-step recovery program that you had to complete. Regardless if you was or not, you still had to complete the 12 steps of recovery. There was a chart that you had to memorize all the 12 steps. If you didn't memorize the 12 steps of decision of recovery, you couldn't leave the program. There was things that you had to do to complete the program in 6 months, and they walked through step by step, month by month. I think the hat that he's on, I think is the beginners, is yellow, and then you get green, and no, I think you start off with red. I can't remember the colors. It's so long, but there was three colors. It was red. No, no. Matter of fact, it was red first, then yellow, and then green. And I'm bugging out because that's the lights that you there. So it must have been that you start off with red because you mad, still street, you bugging. You don't give a fuck about nobody. You talk crazy. Then you get the yellow. You starting to come down. You starting to relax a little bit, and then you get green when you graduate. So you got to get these hats. So boom. Let's get back to it.
It actually changes you. You're not gonna be the same person.
You heard what he said? He said you're not gonna be the same person when you leave shock. you're not the same person. There's no way. If you did the program and you graduated, because they could tell if you wasn't ready to graduate. They could tell. This program that they built, I don't know how they built it, who built it, but remember, these were drill sergeants. These dudes were top of the line. They can tell if you was faking the program or if you wasn't. And if you was, you wouldn't graduate.
The day wraps up by 9:30 when
The day wraps up by 9:30. Okay, so imagine that. Imagine you coming off the streets, first month, 2 months, you gotta go to bed at 9:30. There's nobody that I know that's gonna watch this video because they know me and it's pertaining to most of us, have never been to bed at 9:30 in their whole life. They don't even do it now, probably. Maybe now because we're older, whatever. Because I get in bed around 9. But what I'm saying is that 9:30, bro, I used to lay in my bed and lay there in the beginning months like this and stare at the bed under me. Because there ain't no reading. You can't do none of that. You got to go to bed. It's discipline. Go to bed. Close your eyes. Forget about the streets. Stop thinking about the club. You ain't going to never be there. You got to get all that out your head and close your eyes. And what you had to do was pray to God that he cleared your mind so that you can go to bed, so that you can get up at 5:30 when that horn beat. Because if you didn't, you was hit. You was going to wake up looking crazy with an attitude. So in the first month or something, I was staring at the bed. I was like, oh my God, it's 2:30 in the morning. I can't go to bed. How? I was just going to the club at this time. And especially on Friday nights, oh my God, I used to go crazy. So looking at the thing is like 2:33. Oh my God, this guy's going to come around. So after a while, I kept building and building myself. Second month, third month, I started getting the program to just shut it down. Go to bed. You got to get up.
inmates must turn in for the night. Boot.
Oh yeah, let me show you that real quick. For some of y'all that probably still don't know how to.
The day wraps up by 9:30 when inmates must turn in for.
Remember, this is like a boot camp. These are drill sergeants. Again, it's like military, bro. 6 months. It ain't no joke. So everybody that's attended military, it ain't no joke. This is what he's doing. He's making his bed. This is how you have to make your bed every day. Every day you must have your bed looking like that. And your shoes should be lined up. Your sandals on this side. That's your shower shoes. And your boots for work. Your stuff got to be lined up. Everything got to be high and tight. This locker, I wish I could show you a locker. Let me see if they show you the locker.
Boot camp prisons first became commonplace nationwide in the late 1930s.
All right, look at the locker.
When inmates must turn in.
Let's go back.
The day wraps up by 9:30.
Okay, this is their locker, bro. This is your drawer in your house. This is how you could tell if you high and tight. Look at his t-shirts, his underwears right here. T-shirts and underwears folded correctly. Your hat, your work gloves, your toothbrush. So inside this locker, there's like a drawing of each thing, like your toothbrush, where it goes, the toothpaste, your soap dish, your shaver, your deodorants, your toilet paper. Everything goes in this certain spot. If that drill sergeant comes around the platoon and he tells you open up your locker, let me see, and your shit ain't high and tight like that, dude, he's gonna throw everything in that locker to the floor and he's gonna mess up your bed. That you gotta do it over and you be tight. So you have to make sure. And you see your soap dish, he would open it and you had to make sure that there was no hair on it, because sometimes you use your soap and you wash yourself up and so hairs on you. People be having their soap looking crazy with hair on it, whatever. That shit gotta be clean. The razor clean, no hair on it. Couple of pictures maybe they had or whatever, and your work clothes, everything in that locker gotta be pressed every day. You gotta iron it. She gotta have a crease on it. You gotta be top of the line. And another thing, you had to make sure this was done every day. Every day you had to do this thing. So let's keep going.
When inmates must turn in for the night. Boot camp prisons first became commonplace nationwide in the late 1980s. A federal crime bill signed by President Bill Clinton in 1994 allocated millions of dollars to expand them, and by 95 there were about 75 state-operated boot camps.
So this was created in 1980. By 2005, they had 75 of them. Like, where's this program at? People need this program. The youth now, especially, like now, this thing gotta come back.
For adult offenders. Decades later, numerous studies have shed doubt on their effectiveness. Still, in New York, these boot camp prisons remain an option for shortening sentences for those who qualify. and Mariah Shock inmates like Manuel Tillet see their value.
There's a lot of denial with a lot of inmates that first walk through that door.
There's a lot of denial with inmates that work through that door that first day. It's crazy, bro. This program is beyond.
And this program really puts a mirror through your face and forces you to look. It's not optional.
Fall out.
He said fall out. So at the end of the night, you have to fall out, which means you can go to bed, you can turn around, and everything here was, you know, you're speaking to a drill sergeant. Remember, you're not talking to a prison guard that just talks to you like he's from your block and all that. That's not the same here. You couldn't even stare the drill sergeants in their face. You know, there's no looking at me in the face. You know, so you couldn't make eye contact with the drill sergeant. So you had to look to the side with your hands to the side, and if you wanted to talk to him, you had to request permission. Remember, you had to request permission to talk to the drill sergeant. If you didn't request, and he would say no sometimes, and you just had to about face and go about your business. So you'll come up to him and say, "Sir, inmate Diaz requests to speak to you, sir." Bro, in the beginning, all that was insane to you, bro. You couldn't fix your mouth to say that, especially coming from where we come from on the block. We was like, "Sir, inmate Diaz requests to use the bathroom, sir," and he said no. I was like, what? So this is what the program was about. It was so hard that, you know, me staying on, me jumping off that locker to do it was the best thing that I did. Because I'm gonna tell you, I did come home really shocked out. There's still stuff that I remember from this program that I still use on my regular day life. You know, I didn't apply everything, which if I kept it, it would have been a different, you know, route that I would have took in life also. But, you know, things change or whatever. But I'm still grateful that I did this program. You know, everybody that's watching this video, if you don't know about it, maybe you could look into this program. Maybe we could try to get this program back going or whatever. If anybody sees this video, maybe since I know the program so good, I did it, I completed it. Maybe we could bring this program back. It's insane, top of the line for somebody that never been to prison, you know, and maybe gets a first time offense. You know, this is a great program. You'll come home high and tight. You know, I came home cutting corners, bro. Like, I still cut corners when I turn. And there's this thing that I still do. You know, I still eat with my hand under the table to give the next person space to eat. It's a habit that I've never lost to this day. I can only eat with one hand. So, you know, to this day, I still do it. So I'm putting y'all up to this program. If there's anything we can do to get it back, you know, it's beyond, man. And I know they took it away because it was a beyond working program, and it's sad that we have to deal with this. You know, not having any program. I don't know of a program that they have today. You get locked up, you're going to jail. That's it. Ain't no nothing. You know, and it's sad. You know, I don't even think they still give probation out. You know, I don't even know if they have that. And that probation shit is so laid back, corrupted right now that they should take that shit away and give you boot camp. That's what I think. You know, because if you give me at the time, you give a person 6 months probation, that's a violation. That's mandatory. They set you up. So we'll get into that later. Let's just stick with the program. Shock Incarceration. You know, if you never heard about it, check it out. You know, let somebody else